What do Falcons do? Rise up. Welcome to Rise Up Reactions, the show where we talk all things Falcons, NFL, Georgia sports, and in general, the sports news of the day. I'm your host, Dr. Lee Denning, the Golden Hard Dog, and a lifelong sports fan. So, guys, real quick, Tom Grossi is finishing up his 30 and 30. Congratulations to an amazing content creator for your journey, raising over $340,000 for St. Jude's. Thank you to those of you in Falcons Nation who contributed to that. Also, I am trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the 2023 season. So if you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps a young channel grow and reach more people. With that out of the way, I wanted to jump in and say we are done with predictions for the NFC and the AFC. We have our division winners, and we have teams that we now get to talk about. Will they make the wild card? Won't they make the wild card? And just going back and reviewing everything, this will be a pretty fast video. I wanted to talk about the NFC playoff picture, the picture, and how I predict that going this year. So we'll start off with the NFC. The number one seed. This was a team that I had a hard time putting here. I had them having the same record as another team in the division, and ultimately, I just feel like doing something that might be a little chaotic and a lot of people aren't going to necessarily agree with. I have the Dallas Cowboys with the number one overall seed in the NFC at 11 and 6. So they will win the NFC East in a highly contested division and be 11 and 6 as the number one overall seed, getting a bye. Number two seed I have is the 49ers, who will be playing the number, and I have them finishing at 11 and 6 as well. They will be playing the 10 and 7 New York Football Giants as the seventh seed in the wild card round. At 3, I have the Lions finishing also 10 and 7, playing the 10 and 7 sixth seed Seattle Seahawks, being another team from the NFC West. And I finally have the frackin' let's go, rise up, Dirty Bird Falcons hosting at 10 and 7, the 4 seed, hosting the Philadelphia Eagles at 11 and 6. So that's how I have the playoff picture shaking out for the NFC. Comment down below. Tell me where I'm wrong. The NFC South is going to be the most interesting division out of that, and then it's a matter of who gets a wild card berth after that. A lot of the AFC teams are better, and a lot of these teams that have to play, a lot of these teams, I have two teams from each division, they have to play some of the harder divisions in the AFC, whereas the NFC South is also going to draw the AFC South, which is probably the weakest division. So you have a lot of tough teams that these other guys are going to have to go through, and I don't see them coming out unscathed. And in addition, they have a couple of tough teams in their own divisions that they're going to have to get through as well. So that's how I see the NFC. First round of the playoffs, I have the 49ers winning against the New York Football Giants. I have the Lions winning their first playoff game in a long time and moving on to the divisional round. And then I also have the Eagles, unfortunately. I think they are going to be a more talented team overall than the Falcons, even though the Falcons are going to make massive strides. And my Dirty Birds, my heart wants to pick the Dirty Birds here. I think making the playoffs is a great step for us this year. But realistically, I don't see us making it much further. I will be beyond ecstatic if we can take out a team. Now, if the Cowboys find themselves in Atlanta instead of the Eagles, because I could see it going that way as well, I think we have a better shot against the Cowboys than we do against the Eagles, just from a defensive and offensive standpoint. But again, that's something that I just don't have planned out in this scenario. But if we play the Cowboys, I think we can win that game. The Eagles are a much tougher draw. So what I have next is a rematch in the divisional round with the number one seed Cowboys and the Eagles. And I'm going to say, since I have the Cowboys winning the tiebreaker, having split the series with the Eagles over the course of the year and having one game better than them in a tiebreaker, I am going to actually say that the Cowboys find a way late. Dak doesn't do something stupid, and you don't end up with some stupid, crazy Kellen Moore crappy fourth quarter, fourth down call to end the game, and they find a way to win it, probably on a field goal to close out the game. So that's going to be it. The Cowboys are going to move on to the NFC Championship, and then you have the 49ers and the Lions. If the 49ers play like they've been playing, I think the 49ers are just a little bit better than the Lions. Lions, I think it's going to be an amazing thing that you made it this far, and you could certainly beat the 49ers. You could beat any team on any given Sunday. But if I had to put cards on the table, I'm going to say the 49ers beat you. Now we're left with the Cowboys as the number one seed and the Niners as the 2 seed. And I think it's going to be the 2 seed 49ers. Cowboys, sorry, it is not your year. It was your year to make a deep run in the playoffs. It was not your year to go on. I'm going to have the NFC champions being the 49ers, having been to the dance, but not quite making it all the way to the ball. The last few years, 49ers finally make it on with, I'm going to predict it'll be Brock Purdy under center and not whoever the heck else they've got, Trey Lance. Now, let's move on to the AFC real quick. AFC, number 1 seed overall. They're going to have a tiebreaker, but I'm going to say the Bengals are the number 1 seed this year at 13-4, holding a tiebreaker in a head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs, who will be finishing number 2 overall. So, the Chiefs will be 13-4 as the number 2 seed, and they are going to play the 7-seeded New York Jets. So, led by Aaron Rodgers, they'll be playing each other there. I have the number 3 seed being the Bills at 12-5. I think their window has kind of closed. I don't think that they are as a complete team as the Bengals and the Chiefs. And I have them playing the 11-6 6th seed Ravens. So again, a solid team. It's going to be a really close game. We'll talk about that in a second. And finally, I've talked about this. It's the Jaguars division to lose for the AFC South. So I do have them finishing 10-7 to get the 4th seed. And then I have the Chargers getting a rematch in Jacksonville. Duval-Kelly, they get a chance to redeem themselves after their, I think it was 27-0, come from behind, lost to lose it, 30 or 28, whatever it was, 30-27, I think it was the final there. Either way, ridiculous game last year. I didn't think the Jaguars had a chance in the second half, and they proved me wrong. But that's how I have the overall playoff picture for the AFC shaking out. Now the Bengals get their bye week, so they're going to play the winner of the winner of some of these games, and I have it being the 2 and 7 seeds are going to go up against each other. I don't think the Jets have enough firepower to dethrone the Chiefs. Again, solid teams overall. It could go either way. I'm going to say the Chiefs are just a little bit more complete with the best quarterback in the league, and they make it on to the divisional round. The Bills getting the Ravens at home. This is a really tight game. Now, if the Ravens have a healthy Lamar Jackson, they have a healthy defense, and they find a way to get the passing game involved a little bit better, I think the Ravens actually would win this game. However, just knowing that it's going to be a tough game, it's going to be in Buffalo in January, I'm going to say that the Bills end up finding a way to win, but not necessarily in convincing fashion, and the Bills will edge their way into the next round. So, then we have the Jaguars and the Chargers. Jaguars, you made a come from behind crazy victory last year. I don't think you do it again, though, and I think the Chargers avenge their loss from last year and move on to the divisional round. So that would leave us with the number 1 Bengals hosting the number 5 Chargers, the number 2 Chiefs hosting the number 3 Bills. So, how does it shake out from here? I am going to say that the Bengals find a way to beat the Chargers, though it will be close. The Chargers I certainly could see ending up being what I predicted them to be last year, which was heading to the Super Bowl. Certainly a team that has the pieces in place, but now it's a question of coaching. And I'm going to say that the coaching with the Bengals, that the overall foundation that they built is better, and I'm going to give it to the Bengals and have them going on to the AFC Championship round. Then you have the Chiefs and the Bills, which has been an electric matchup each time they played the last few years. And I think the Bills show up in Kansas City, and I think the Bills find a way to shut down Patrick Mahomes this time. They find a way to edge out that win where they should have a couple of years ago, and it ends up being the Bills going on to the AFC Championship. Having a semi-revenge game, though I don't have it going that way. I have the Bengals winning that game with the Bengals going on to the Super Bowl. So, we have the Bengals and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And between those two, the AFC is a tougher division. The AFC has better quarterbacks. The AFC in general is a more competitive, higher octane division. And the 49ers, while I think they're going to do well to get here, I don't think they have the firepower to beat the Bengals in the long run. So I am going to give it to the Kitty Goes Meow Bengals and let them win the Super Bowl in 2020, in the 2023-2024 season. Let's go. Kitty Goes Meow. Not my favorite thing since they're an orange team, and orange is my least favorite color, being a Georgia person. But Kitty Goes Meow. Tom Grassi's Bengals or whatever. I guess not his. I guess I forget who the big YouTuber is out there. But anyways, that's what I got. I got the Bengals winning the entire thing this year. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. It's going to be really interesting to see how this season plays out. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And as always, rise up.